Peace. Think fast. Getting your peers to respect your knowledge. One of the things I come across on my growth, is dealing with coming across some of your peers where, and society paint this picture where, it's like if you're not older than me, then you shouldn't be telling me about how to carry myself in life, or if and which rightfully so off of the experience situation, if I don't know you experienced this and I'm not listening to you, whatever the case may be. But I realize, as somebody with a lot of knowledge, and you come across situations where you in a conversation and your information overrides everything that's being discussed, and your information is provable to override everything that's being discussed, but you can feel a vibration that people's egos are trying to suppress the information and hold you down because you're younger than them, and it don't matter all that stuff you read and all that don't matter because we older. You know what I'm saying? I've been on the earth for longer than you, so whatever that case may be. So what I've learned to do, and how I deal with that situation to keep myself from feeling like because it is a balance, because a part of having this information and being able to help people is sharing it with others, and also being crafty at being able to share with others. And you come across these different types of roadblocks where you get in a conversation where you should be sharing the knowledge, but you're backing down to the insane constructs of the social, or I should say the insane social constructs of society, where it's like, oh no matter if you're smarter, no matter if you're more spiritually mature, because I've been on earth longer than you, everything I say overrides, or and dealing with that, because I have a few brethren and sisters where I could tell, from family members to people I'm close to, where they listen only because, and I'm just keeping it real, only to say, all right, I'm gonna be open-minded and listen in that sense. In which, this is another thing too, we all been through our growth, so of course, we got our own levels of hard-headedness, but I've seen people listen just, like, all right, I'm gonna show that I'm being open-minded, but I'm really not, he younger than me, I'm just not listening to that. He houseless, I got a house, he houseless, I'm not gonna listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the way you deal with that is the way back to the saying, be the change that you want to see, because there's so many times that the people who disrespect the information that I be sharing, or they try to hold it down because their egos can't handle anybody being smarter than them in the moment. When I say smarter, just bringing up information, that's the perception and construct of calling it smarter, but they can't handle somebody being smarter in the moment. So basically they're trying to suppress, they can't handle it, so again, that's what I want to say. So it's being the change you want to see. So there's so many times when people have done that, and I just, all right, and then they come back around, or like I be going about my business just being me, and then there's people from either from my YouTube channel. I've seen it happen on so many cases where somebody that's constantly trying to give me advice, again, because of that age, like, all right, I see an age, and two, the ego is looking for identity, and when somebody's not dealing with their sole purpose, they're looking for identities in other places that doesn't serve them. Like, all right, I want the identity of being grown and older than you, so that's my identity. I gotta hold on to being the person that could give people advice because I'm older, because that's all I got, and that's another situation that throws people off. But what I was gonna say is seeing people having to deal with, so going about my business, and that person that may have ignored my information at one time is sitting somewhere close to me or something of that nature, and then they get to witness people coming up to me like, oh, I love the information on your YouTube channel, or I like the way you talk about this, and then it show, and it's talking about information that person that ignored me thought I didn't have the information on, or they were ignoring me because hey, you younger and I'm not listening to you, whatever the case may be. But you see that the universe with karma, it comes back around where the universe teaching them a lesson like, hey, you should possibly listen to universal frequencies. He might have something to say. And I'm not saying this for, oh yeah, everybody listen to me. I'm just speaking on this situation because, of course, the reason why I'm here is because I'm constantly learning and listening as well. I'm not closing off the lessons. It's only a fool knows it all. But it's just dealing with that though, because sometimes that could throw you off when you're supposed to be helping and teaching to a certain extent, for lack of a better word. It feels like, all right, how could I share in these type of environments where everybody feel they grown, or because they're older than me, they're not open to the information that I'm speaking on, even though it's extremely truthful and provable, you know what I'm saying, and overrides the information that they're talking about, kind of like with family members and where they still think chemotherapy and all this is the right way to take care of cancer, no matter how many times I tell them alkaline water and all this is like, because I'm younger and all this and that, and what I'm talking about is crazy because it's unfamiliar, then it is what it is, it's the karma to it. But, you just let things be. The moral, as a matter of fact, the moral to all that, just let it be, be the change you want to see constantly, and it all comes back to you. That's why you realize that you don't have to be like, nanny boo boo, I'm smart about this, because even though that may not be your aim, that satisfaction to still kind of come to you, or could I say you'll get that in just being, and not trying to, oh man, I gotta make sure I show them how, look, I was right that whole time. It's like, be the change you want to see, just be that, move in that, and the information that is rightful and true. And if somebody don't believe you, cool, and then they'll come back around to where they'll see that the information that you were speaking on was true. The information that you are speaking on is true. And then they'll deal with themselves. They're gonna have their little embarrassed moment. Because honestly, me personally, I know the deepness of the human psyche to the point where I feel not sorry, in no inferior way, but I feel sorry for people who have to deal with those little egotistical emotions, because not only I dealt with something and know how constricted and how much you could drive yourself insane with a lot of this egotistical behavior, but it just, again, it's like, bro, I feel sorry for some people, because again, that ego, that identity, some people don't have identity in essence, which to hell with identity, but just speaking on it, they don't have identity if they can't be like, oh yeah, I'm the old school that could tell you rub butter on the burn and this and that, and as I'm counting that asterisk, intuitive insight, like putting butter on the burn, even though, and I've talked about it in the past as far as that's something that, not the conventional way, but some things that deal with spirit may not be logical to the human. So as much as I do clown the rubbing butter on the burn situation, that is one of them things too where, it could be from the high realms, one of them remedies that, just take care of things even though it seems awkward, but, definitely dealing with that energy of, again, just dealing with people being mature on that level and being listeners, a lot of people have difficulty with that. And say, for instance, early in my growth, I realized early in the game that I was basically attracting my older self, you know what I'm saying? Before my growth, I was a person too that was just as hard-headed as the next in some cases. So, so another thing too, peep game to that, like if you were finding yourself coming across that and feeling some kind of way, also step back and observe and say, because it might be like what goes around comes around on all levels. So you dealing with yourself. Say, for instance, at one time you probably didn't listen to somebody younger than you because of age or whatever. So it comes back around to you, and you have to deal with it and work through it. It's all, that's all we doing. It's working through karma, whether it's from past lives or this life, But peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now.